I have two stepdaughters, Scarlett 18 and Ava teen. Scarlett is a fantastic singer. She's been in some kind of voice lesson since she was 10 and just graduated from one of the best performing arts schools in the state, where she went on a full scholarship since 6th grade. She was also accepted into some very prestigious music schools. Additionally, she's been working paid gigs for the last 2 years and makes at least $500 to $1,000 per week, more in the summers. She's even been the opening artist at a few concerts. I'm not trying to brag, I'm just saying she's an objectively good singer. Ava, on the other hand, is not a good singer. She likes to believe she is, and she might become one if she's stuck with voice lessons or choir classes, but she always quits after 1 or 2 weeks because they're bullying her, giving constructive feedback. I've seen the notes her classmates and teachers have given her. Ava also likes to sing very loudly and/or at bad times. For example, if she feels that we're too quiet at the dinner table, she starts to sing loudly. It doesn't sound good, and I don't know how she doesn't hear it. If you ask her to stop, she keeps going, and if you're blunt and say stop, that doesn't sound good, we don't want to hear it, she keeps going and gets even louder just to annoy you. If we're in the car and we don't let her choose the songs, she'll loudly sing whatever she wants, not what's playing, to annoy us. She responds the same way when we tell her to stop. The only person she listens to is her dad. A few weeks ago we were trying to eat and she was singing again. I told her to stop, but she refused, so I took her plate and told her that from now on she's no longer allowed to eat at my table. She can eat in her room, the backyard, her car, the garage, wherever she wants as long as we can't hear her from the dining room, and this will continue until she can behave appropriately at the table. My husband and I argued about it, but he's not home for dinner, so there isn't much he can do about it. Today, she was eating lunch with us and started singing again. I told her to stop, but she didn't listen, so I again took her plate and told her to eat somewhere we couldn't hear her if she didn't want to act appropriately. Ava argued that she's a better singer than Scarlett and that Scarlett always sings. I was done with her BS, so I asked her how many times someone other than her dad had asked her to sing, not even paying her to be there, just her to sing, or how many performing arts schools she's gotten accepted to. She's applied to many. She started to cry and my husband wanted me to apologize for being rude to her and insisted that I allow her to eat with the family again. Am I the idiot? Edit, her sister does not sing at the dinner table. She does sing a lot, but at more appropriate times. You are the idiot. Ava is younger than her sister. Sometimes it takes some time to get better at something, and acting rude to her and discouraging her, because you clearly don't like her, makes you an idiot. Either ban singing at the dinner table completely or keep your mouth shut and invoke the thumper rule. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Something tells me she's doing this to try and get attention. How obvious is it that you're so proud of her sister? How much praise and attention does she get? And how often is that done in front of Ava? How often has Ava been forced to sit and listen to Scarlett's accomplishments? This sounds incredibly obnoxious, but something tells me there's a reason she's doing it. There's nothing wrong with enforcing table manners, but at that point you become a mean girl and just said something to make her feel bad. That's why you're here. Your conscience brought you. You are the idiot for attacking her on a personal level. LOL. In any event, she didn't attack anyone. She was being realistic with her stepdaughter, who needed a lesson in keeping her ego in check. Otherwise, she might have been extremely embarrassed by her inability to sing in public one day. She isn't a child. She's a damn teenager, and the coddling needs to stop. OP's not the idiot. Agree. How many times should OP have to say that there is no singing at the dinner table? If OP keeps allowing the girl to sing at the table, OP would be told by many on this board that she was a jellyfish with no spine and should have given consequences the first time she set a boundary and the child stomped over that boundary. My dad remarried when I was 12 after the death of my mom. My dad's wife was a widow also and had a pre-tween daughter at the time. I didn't blend the way they wanted me to. I don't hate my dad's wife or stepdaughter. I never felt a family bond with them though. But my stepsister can be really sweet. She also has special needs and behaves very young as a result. She struggles to comprehend things like someone her age, 20, would. And her view of the world is very young. It makes her far easier to manipulate and far easier to upset. There were times when I still lived with them when I had to be very careful about what I talked about because she would get so upset. Movies had to be very happy and cheerful, and they couldn't have death, bullying or any sarcasm in them because they could really upset her, which is why I'm so angry right now. So I'm expecting a baby and my stepsister was so excited the last time she saw me. She told me she was so excited for me to have a boy named after his dad. I asked her what she meant, and she told me my dad and her mom told me I would name a boy after her dad like I'd name a girl after my mom. She told me she hoped I had a boy, and she was so excited and so easily believed that I would do that. I mentioned this to my dad, and he sheepishly admitted they had told her that and that they were going to ask me to consider naming a son after my stepsister's dad because it would mean so much to her. I told him I wasn't going to do that, and he should have known that. He told me they figured, but that they also really wanted his stepdaughter to be happy. I spoke to him with his wife present and told him to correct the lie they told, or he could deal with the consequences of not doing so. She told me I would be heartless to deny her daughter this. My dad asked why I wouldn't do it, and I told him I was not the one who told the lie. I told him the choice was up to him and he could live with the consequences. They said I was blackmailing them and playing games, which wasn't fair. Am I the idiot? Why would you name a child after your dad's wife's ex-husband? You understand that your dad and stepmom probably have mental issues too if they thought this was a reasonable request. Not the idiot, and honestly, just tell your stepsister that they lied to her from the start. Then the three of them can deal with that however they want, and you can live your own life. Are they delusional, thinking that you'd actually want to name your child after a man you never met? Or did they plan to manipulate you into it by telling your sister you would? You have some very strange parents. I hope your late mother had family you could hang on to because your nuclear family is not sane. Do they have a plan for when they die? They're trying to force you to become closer to her. OP, walk away. This is a way for them to gauge how invested you are in your stepsister. They're probably at the age where they're eyeballing you as a future carer. Every interaction with you and your baby going forward will be about appeasing your stepsister instead of supporting your new family. It's better to cut the cord now and enjoy what's left of your pregnancy. I, female 51, have been battling cancer since I was 28. It's come back 3 times and now I'm at a point in my life where I'm comfortably living with cancer. I have 2 daughters in their 20s with children, one being widowed. I remarried 2 years ago to a man with 4 children, one still living at home with us. He's 19. It's been weighing heavy on my mind to make sure everything's in order in case of the worst. And I told my husband I'd planned to leave everything to my children and grandchildren. I wanted to make sure they were set. He got upset and said that was horrible because I married a man knowing he had children. He said that what I was doing was horrible and would make them feel unloved. I love my stepchildren like my own, but one of my daughters is a 29-year-old widow with 3 young children. My husband is an oral surgeon. He makes great money, and what he chooses to do with it after he passes is up to him. He's been very upset and has not talked to me. He even told his eldest daughter, who's also had many tragedies in her life, and she brought it up when she stopped by the house. She was also upset by this. Unlike my husband, I don't have much to offer, but I don't see the big deal, and I don't want their feelings hurt. My husband says it's the principle. I married a man with children. Am I the idiot? He may be a high earner as an oral surgeon, but I wouldn't be surprised if he married you for money. Of your 51 years of life, this man has not been in 49 of those. It sounds like, except for the 19-year-old, all his other 3 children are adults. Why on earth would they expect to be part of the will of a woman they only met 2 years ago when they were already grown-ups? You need to revisit this relationship. As Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Not the idiot, and get well. I agree with this. Many high earners are absolutely broke. I had a renter once, a military family here. They were also military, but a doctor and a nurse, not 2 lieutenants, who were always late on their rent even though the army essentially covers housing. But they had a boat, a motorcycle, a huge truck. The doctor made $15,000 a month. Army doc pay is online along with all other pay based on rank, without including his wife's nurse paycheck. Hated having to freaking get rent from them every month. They also left the home with not even 2 weeks' notice. No assignment gives you 2 weeks' notice. They were just moving homes. Oh, and they stole my long, beautiful curtains. He got upset and said you were horrible. He told one of his kids. Asked to see his will and beneficiary designations. Right now. I doubt your kids are on there. Rightfully so. You've been married for 2 years and you both have adult children. LOLOL. Is he planning on leaving money to your kids? I'm willing to bet he's not. And I guarantee if you pass before him, your kids won't see a dime. Where do people get that kind of superiority and sense of entitlement? I could never. I'm starting to think the rich really do lack morals. The past weekend, my boyfriend and I joined his friends for a weekend getaway at a cabin, Airbnb. 5 people total, me, him, a male friend, his girlfriend, and my boyfriend's girl best friend. I've never liked his girl best friend because she gives pick-me vibes, and I think she either has a crush on my boyfriend or likes attention. She doesn't like me either. I remain very cordial with her. When we arrived at the cabin, she told my boyfriend that she hadn't packed any pajamas and none of her clothes were appropriate since they'd get dirty. She couldn't wear the other girls' clothes because they wouldn't fit, so she begged my boyfriend to give her my pajamas since I always pack extra. Without asking me, he gave her my pajamas. So I came out of the shower to find her wearing my pajamas and the bottom basically shoved all the way up her crack. She spent the entire weekend lounging in my pajamas. When the weekend was over, she tried to return them to me and I said she could keep them. She got mad at me and asked if I thought she was dirty or had cooties. I said she could keep them since it seemed she liked them a lot. She called me a mean girl and said I was being rude. It ruined my mood since the other friend took her side while his girlfriend took mine and my boyfriend had to take my side. And now things are awkward and I think I might be iced out by my boyfriend's friends. Am I the idiot? Edit, he didn't know I didn't like her. I was annoyed at him for not asking, but I always packed extra and never fussed about lending clothes to other people because I believe in hospitality. I would have offered her the pajamas. He immediately apologized and even bought me new pajamas. I have no problem with my boyfriend because he thought he was doing the right thing and he acknowledged his mistake and rectified it. I would have given her my pajamas. I still wouldn't have taken them back. She didn't even offer to wash them. She just tossed them back to me. Super weird she wouldn't offer to wash them before giving them back. Not the idiot. I'd have taken those pajamas back from her and thrown them into the trash can right there in front of them all when the argument escalated. Can someone explain why a single female is on a trip with 2 couples and not friends with either of the females in the said couples? Why is she fifth-wheeling it and only friends with your boyfriend? I've never seen the opposite genders able to be in strictly platonic friendships. Either they have done things together or one wants to do things with their friend and is waiting for their in. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's just been my experience. She got the power trip out of getting your boyfriend to do her bidding and then further exploited the situation by acting as the victim. Your boyfriend is more her boyfriend than yours, sorry to say. I don't see what you want out of this relationship. This guy has no sense of boundaries at your expense. What's next? The mother-in-law raiding your fridge while you're at work and taking your baby to the courthouse to rename it after herself? Or father-in-law and your boyfriend drive them there? What the heck, guy? He may take your side this time, but something will happen again. He isn't always going to side with you, so you have to decide if that's something you can live with. Yep, I've known girls like this. These situations boost their egos. It's the, I can take your man if I want to mindset. Your boyfriend messed up here by putting you in an awkward position. It doesn't matter how close you are to your boyfriend or girlfriend, you don't lend their personal things to others without asking. Period. Personally, I would expect my boyfriend to speak with her. She needs to be put in her place by him, otherwise she will keep doing things like this. If he doesn't, then you know she is his priority over you. My brother is getting married soon and his fiancée chose a very revealing wedding dress. It's low-cut with a thigh-high slit and sheer back. I'm all for people wearing what they want, but our family is quite conservative and opinionated, and I know this dress will cause a lot of drama, especially with our grandparents. Talking people walking out of the wedding kind of drama. At a family dinner, I pulled her aside. I gently suggested she might want to reconsider her choice, explaining the likely reactions from our older relatives. I clarified that I absolutely respected it's her choice and her special day, but wanted to at least warn her of what could happen. She got very upset and said it was her wedding and she'll wear whatever she wanted. My brother is now mad at me, accusing me of trying to control their wedding. Some of my family members think I was just looking out for her, while others say I overstepped. Am I the idiot for telling my brother's fiancée her wedding dress might be inappropriate for our conservative family? Why is your first inclination to tell her to find a different dress instead of telling her you have her back in case anything comes up? Better yet, just not tell her anything because that's a surefire way to make her feel super insecure about her body during her wedding. You are the idiot. It seems like the only drama is that you created a problem where there wasn't one. Yeah, no one asked your opinion. You could have asked if she wanted feedback on her dress or your relatives. She could have spoken to your brother about it if there was some reason to believe he was unaware of your family. You overstepped by a mile. If people decided to walk out of the wedding over the bride's choice of a wedding dress, good riddance. Realistically, OP should have gone to the conservatives and said that the wedding is not about them and they can get over themselves or not come. Warn the problematic people about the consequences, not the person hosting the party. I'm just doing it to protect you, is the controlling cry of conservatives to women everywhere. OP is just more of the same as their family. Realistically, that would achieve nothing but make them angrier. OP can say all she wants, it won't change the behaviour of someone who would walk out of a wedding because of what the bride is wearing. She doesn't really get to say, well, don't come if they don't like it, because it's not her wedding. At least now the bride has all the information so she can choose to wear the dress based on the full picture. Her husband-to-be was doing her a great disservice by not mentioning how conservative their extended family is.